One of the most common problems we hear about nowadays, and I'm sure everyone else does, is the information overload we see on the internet. How much of it's real and fake, we don't know. So clarity is power. In Sapiens, we explore our past. In Homo Deus, we looked at our future. Now, in 21 Lessons for the 21st Century, Yuval Noah Harari turns to the present to provide you that clarity. By zooming in on what is happening right now, who dominates the world? West, China, Islam, is God back? Is the new world war coming? Offering advice on how to prepare for a very different future from the world we now live in. I have covered the core message from every single lesson and some combined to understand it better. So let's dive in. Lesson 1: Disillusionment. After the collapse of Nazi-led Germany, liberalism and communism rises from the ashes of World War II as the only hope for governance. In today's era, liberalism is not as powerful as it used to be when it is compared in front of AI, blockchain and cryptocurrency. One of the main downsides is that government has no clue how to catch up with this explosion of infotech and biotech. And lesson number 2 is related to what I just said. Because today's disruptive technology, many of us would hand over our jobs to machines. Still, there are higher chances that this AI era will create new jobs. We just have to reinvent ourselves to be useful. So we can keep up with robots. And if you don't accept the change, you will become irrelevant. And that takes us to lesson number 3, where author can't stress how important this is. That the danger is, we have no idea what the full human potential is. And that's becoming bigger problem as time goes on, because it seems we spend less time to know our human consciousness and focus more time on increasing our internet speed, rather than worrying about us handing over our jobs to them and them using our data to make decisions for us. I hope you understand me here. Author says people fail to realize that AI doesn't use emotions to make decisions. They use written algorithm. As we rely on machines to make decisions for us, they will understand us more than we understand ourselves. Having said that, big corporations who are elites in controlling data do not mind offering free products for your piece of information. Now, one of the most important lessons from this book, which everyone can relate to, is communism. After the US election in 2016, Mark Zuckerberg proclaimed that Facebook will do all it can to restore the communal relationship of 21st century. Noah says it is a well-needed commitment, but how the corporation would lead a revolution? Regardless, who's monitoring this revolution? With that said, in reality, we must learn to separate online world from offline world, because let's face it, for a lot of people, they know more about their friend on Instagram or Facebook who is miles away, while their next door neighbor is a stranger. But there is a positive side of it, which mentioned in lesson number 6 and 7. In 21st century, borders are fading, political ideology is becoming one civilization. Besides, countries like America, Britain, Russia trying to break free from nationalist model. Having said that, humanity still has continued to hurt the planet, and as a result, led to extinction of some plants and animals. Now, when we speak of civilization and nationality, we can't leave religion behind. Today, religion and race are the only way people are retaining their identity in 21st century. Nonetheless, religion still has no solution for nuclear annihilation, global warming, and new technologies. This notion is evident in ongoing debate about Europe's immigration policies. Pro-immigrants argue that European countries are not doing enough to accept them in their society, where anti-immigrants says that immigrants are not adapting our nation's culture. Now, the biggest challenge to human security: terrorism and war. Terrorism continues to command fear from developed countries, and using that fear to recruit more soldiers and raise more funds. Noah suggests countries battling terrorism should take a calm approach by giving up brute force attack to resolve this issue and find ways to stop public terror attacks. For that reason, this might require media to stop obsessively reporting on terror attacks. But a bigger threat is World War III, and we all can agree on it. Deep down, we are curious about it. Even if you search on Google, you'll find top searches are when it will happen, what's the news today, and I'm not surprised some people are looking for countdown. Oh wait, there is a World War IV? It's a movie, okay. Although we enjoy stability and peace, some people believe loving your country too much could ignite a war. Noah says recent war shows nations are not as good as they used to be compared to their ancestors. From what history has taught us, you can never rule out human stupidity. Perhaps the only way to control our stupidity is to inoculate humility. But how do you teach humility to people who think their history, culture, God, and nation are superior? It is difficult to accept such superiority complex. If visiting temples makes people feel peace and harmony, that's wonderful. But if particular temple causes violence and conflicts, then what do we need it for? More frightening is monotheistic. That suggests that there is only one God, and whoever objects this notion does not deserve acceptance. Because we live in a world where individuals' actions in China can affect the lives of thousands in Africa. Therefore, we hold ignorance as responsible, or look for a system which will dig out truth for us. Currently, it is difficult to understand the truth without borrowing one-two element from other people. Noah calls it group thinking or knowledge illusion. Even scientists are victim of group thinking, who believes facts can change public opinion. The downside is that it's hard to make people understand who relies on group knowledge, even after showing them facts. As a result, it becomes difficult to separate good from bad, or justice and injustice. Once you acknowledge how the world works is flawed, and the more you try to understand it and find the global truth, the greater chances of you getting lost. As world society tells us, the real world relies on fiction, and so you must investigate the source of your information. And finally, last three lessons: education, meaning, and meditation. Now that you have a blurry idea of what the near future holds, you must get prepared for the unfamiliar reality that humanity is about to step into. More importantly, our education system needs modification. That has been with us all these years because today's system does not have the right tool to prepare us to survive in the future. In addition, in today's era, an average individual must continue to change and mold himself to prepare for what's coming. Therefore, the author advised that you must strive to understand yourself. Once you get grip on who you are, you can manipulate and withstand change. In quest to find meaning of your existence, Noah suggests not to take help of religion, culture, and nationalism, because you will never find meaning in well-oiled legend, story, or ideology. For the author, he found meaning through meditation. Because our mind is chaotic, our perspective towards our feelings and the world is not result of what is happening outside, but an imbalance in our mind. It is still a mystery to many of us how drastic the world can change in next 30 years. So we better understand our minds before algorithms make decisions for us.